Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Rule the Waves 3 as Japan. So we are still at war with Britain. We had a couple of, a couple of very good battles in the Indian Ocean last part. But unfortunately those battles also basically put the entirety of our fleet in the Indian Ocean in dry dock. So yeah, we sent some of those ships in to do some refits to game the system, basically. Because theoretically, unless it got changed and I missed it, you are supposed to be able to send a ship in for refit that is currently being repaired, and it will do both at the same time. So you might as well do it. If there's a reason, of course. Of course, if there's no reason to do it, don't. But it is something to keep in mind. Let's see. Let me get my timer started. But the U.S. is our only ally currently in this war. Spain has still refused to join in, but again, hopefully they will change their mind soon, because that would be great for us. But hopefully the troops in Burma can hold out for a couple of months, because they're going to be needing... They're not going to have any naval support for a little while. Oh, I'm sorry, did that say the British declined? I had nothing. Why are the British declining? I mean, I'll take it. But I think the British are crazy if they actually decline that. I'm hoping I read that wrong. We estimate that the British here, it's a convoy attack, have a single CL and 4 destroyers. We will be sending in 3 CLs and 5 destroyers, with a shit ton of air bases potentially being able to launch stuff as well. I don't think that's going to work out very well for them. We will accept. I think they should have said no, personally. I will say attack enemy ships in general. I don't care if they're near the objective or not. These are old ships. Well, I say that. There's one old ship. But there's 2 newer ships. The Akitsushimas are also here. Wonderful. And our mission is to sink 6 destroyers. Not destroyers, 6 transports. There's the radar contacts. Those are the escorts, not the merchants. Cannot tell you guys to hold fire with torpedoes when I have you on auto. Those are the transports, though. Let the escorts just kind of sail right past us. If they're going to ignore us, I'm fine with that. I will just go for the transports. Because that makes my life much easier. Oops, I selected the wrong thing, so you guys launch your torpedoes. I did not want you to do that. That should be all of the transports that matter. Well, rather, all the transports that we need. There are still some transports, of course. I won't complain about sinking more of those, and I would love to sink some of the escorts, given the opportunity. Yeah, I think you're going to sail north. I don't think you can sail south, unfortunately, at least not safely. Jesus Christ, the Chitose just took a massive torpedo hit. I mean, if we can do this, let's try it. But we are sort of dead in the water, with a bunch of ships still very close to us. This is unlikely to change in the immediate future. And hopefully they leave us alone, since I'm no longer going after the escorts. We'll have lost a handful of destroyers. Hopefully we won't lose any of our CLs. Especially the brand new Ikitsushimas. That would kind of tick me off a little. But we completed the objective. I don't care that you repair the radar. I need you to deal with the flooding. You know, the important thing. Are you guys not going to deal with the flooding? Really? Here we go. The Ottawa dealt with some of its flooding, finally. Akashi limited flooding. Chitose limited flooding. Okay, goody. I think you guys might be able to safely, if once you deal with the flooding, maybe you can go to cruising speed? No, don't launch aircraft. Just no search. No search period. Don't bother asking again. None of that. Come on. Deal with the last of your flooding. Realize it might be a little bit hard to find the two places where it's flooding. Easier when there's a lot of flooding, because it's everywhere you look. And we are still within aircraft range for them. There we go, the Ottawa limited flooding, although it still has a little bit, so not going to cruising speed yet. Akashi finally limited some flooding. Somebody limited flooding again. Akashi is ready to go. Go to cruising speed. Wonderful. We sunk 13 transports. In exchange, we lost a destroyer and heavily damaged 3 of our CLs. But hey, they didn't sink, so that's fine with me. Would have loved to have sunk some of their escorts, but we'll survive. Electro boat increases in submarine effectiveness. Wonderful. New medium bomber improvements, always nice. Faster, a lot more range. That is a pretty good uplift. I believe HASM means that it uses the heavy range for the anti-ship missiles, or well, air-to-surface missiles technically. So 700. I mean, 728 nautical miles is a lot. Take that. We sunk a British corvette in a spirited gun duel. Wonderful. We sunk another one. And a third. Battle between the British and the Americans. The Americans lost 2 destroyers to the British 1. An indecisive engagement took place on the west coast. Nothing there. Some free VP. There's rumor that Great Britain has halted construction of a dreadnought due to financial difficulties. Britain is having financial difficulties? What? Oh shit, the British brought their navy back to Southeast Asia because we don't have anything in the Indian Ocean. Not exactly what I want to hear. Is there any rebuilds that I can do for you that are worthwhile? Thinking probably not. Not without doing a full replace machinery, which I just cannot justify at this time. So let's continue on. I'm kind of wondering if I want to do fleet support because the enemy has a lot more ships than us. We're going to do fleet support, try to torpedo their shit. We have no information on what they're going to be sending, and we have a couple of corvettes. I'm going to say no to that. Again, we have no info on what they're going to be bringing. And I can't decline this one. I have to accept it. So 1 CL and a handful of destroyers. Well, let's hope that they're not sending a fucking battlecruiser at us. Attack enemy ships near objective. This is the same as the last time. We have a bit of daylight, but not much, which is a shame, because I would have preferred doing this at daylight. Because we don't have blind fire yet on most of our stuff. There's the escorts. Down there, and there's the transports. Same as last time, I think. Just kind of try to get in there and deal with the transports as quickly as possible, but, you know, be a little bit better about just leaving once the objective is completed with regards to the transports. Why the fuck are you launching a destroyer at something that is that far, or, excuse me, torpedoes at something that is that far away? You're not hitting. There's 2, 3. Four, let's turn out. Disengage for a bit. Because I got a lot of stuff that's roughly heading in our direction. Escorts are just a little too close to the last one that I need. Okay, and couple more transports. Fuck it. These ones don't have escorts close enough. And every little bit of EP we can helps. Okay, now let's get the hell out of here. Disengage. Objective completed. If we had blind fire, I would stay longer, because we could use that to try to sink some of the escorts, but nope. Quick in and out. Let's go. Back to port. I do not care to fight destroyers, well, but it's mostly destroyers, at night, at knife fighting ranges. No thank you. That's a terrible idea. There we go. Nice easy victory. No losses for us at all. Not even any damage. Free VP. That's not fun to hear. How are the guys in Burma doing? They still holding out? You didn't tell me that they were fighting valiantly last time. Not sure I'm a fan of that. Ooh, slow fade display. Thank you very much, America. I will gladly buy that. Increases radar detection chance. Always nice. And here is the light jet fighter that we had requested ourselves. So, bit better range, or excuse me, bit better speed, but worse range across the board, less maneuverable, and less toughness. I'm gonna say I think we're gonna go ahead and stick with the Aichi. Especially because these speed improvements are not significant. This is an extra knot. That one extra knot does not make a big enough difference. And again, the ranges are all worse. So yeah, nope, we're not going to take any of those. You say I should get a new naval patrol aircraft. It's been more than 2 years. We'll take your word for it. But I think range is more or less... Range and speed are probably more or less as good as they're going to get. So I think we're just kind of going to go for... Let's do range and reliability, I guess. One of our corvettes got sunk by a mine. Free VP from the Americans. How are our forces? Our forces in Burma are resisting. Okay, but are they fighting valiantly? You're not telling me that they are fighting valiantly. I'm not a fan of. Okay, and they've abandoned Southeast Asia again this turn. Not that that matters. Spain, I know you want to join. Trust me. I know you do. We're going to say no to this battle because we got nothing. No info on what they're bringing, and we have a couple of light cruisers. Fuck that. Cruiser action. Oh, we don't have particularly good intel. Some battleships and supporting forces. Great. What does that mean exactly? Well, you know. I don't know. Tell me. What do you mean? And I want to bring the Kinagasas in. I wish we got better intel. Because some battleships and supporting forces is not exactly useful intel. I feel like this is probably okay. Just depends on how many battleships. Although I think our intel claimed they only had the one dreadnought, but I didn't really pay too much attention. I should have initially adjusted the distance that we're searching for because they are not going to be any further than the port at the absolute most. There we go, radar contact. What are these? Oh, that is a Kinogasa. And the Nishan, because the Nishan is still here. Still going strong. Those are the Suos, and that is the... Ooh, Tsukuba. How about you guys escort the Tsukuba as a screening force, if you don't mind. We are claiming that that is the Dreadnought. Okay. I mean, I'd be fine with that if that is in fact the Dreadnought. I'm a little curious if I want to potentially tell our Dreadnoughts to hold their fire until, yeah, until daybreak. The armored cruisers and whatnot can fire at them all they want, but I think the Suos, at least, are going to hold their fire. Just try to maximize accuracy. Yeah, that radar only does not help you. A couple more ticks. Ooh, okay, that was a torpedo. Let's disengage a little bit. Daylight has broken, and it doesn't really do us much good because it's heavy rain. Okay, yep, Dreadnought, Venerable. Which is basically the same as one of the other designs that we just sunk in the Indian Ocean last part. Yep, somebody go and pick up those survivors. And the Glorious, same thing. I think the Glorious is basically an Indomitable, if I'm recalling the classes correctly, and I think you are a Royal Sovereign, effectively. And the Venerable somehow managed to take a torpedo. I am not fully certain as to how that happened, but I am more than happy to have it happen. Because it does make our job easier. Nope, nope, turn off. Turn off Karama. The Asau somehow takes a torpedo. Okay, the Asau's gonna break off. And slow down to 9 knots. So technically just cruising speed may or may not be fine. I'm not fully certain on that. Generally had the most luck with going down to sub 10 knots. I, in fact, sometimes even often will go down to just 5 knots. Especially if I don't really worry about the enemy re-engaging you. It is cloudy. The annoying thing, though, is that we are very close to them. So they get land-based support. We don't. At least not quickly. CL should probably turn up. Glorious is dead in the water. Venerable is still going strong. Let's see if I can get you to switch fire to the Venerable. Because the Venerable is now the one that is most important to engage. I would probably say you should just engage the destroyers. What is it with the AI and launching torpedoes from miles away? That'll make sure you're dead in the water. Whoops. Where is... There you are. Rama continues to do... Oh, shit, that has submerged torpedoes, so let's maybe not get too close. They have significantly smaller arcs, but they can still hurt. I wasn't paying attention to that pop-up. I'm hoping it was just somebody complaining about being at 50% ammo. I think you're going to want to turn in. Just to try to avoid the friendly torpedoes because they can't frickin' aim. Oh, the Asau is, escort. The Asau can head home. Go, you're dead in the water. You just hold your ammo. Or hold your fire. You're not going to do a great job of hitting a CL, so just don't bother. Let the Kako go after it, and it is now dead in the water as well. I guess we could see if we can do some damage to coastal batteries. While we're here. Help out our invasion forces. If we can do some damage to those. I would probably advise against wasting 16-inch shells on a Corvette, but Sure, game. I would have just fired your secondaries personally. Okay, and now we just sort of try to find any coastal batteries that we can. Not fully certain as to where their placement would be. And you know what? Maybe slow down to cruising speed. I don't think we need to be going at full speed. Give us a little bit more time to enjoy. Maybe don't try to turn into the land to turn around. You don't quite have the range, so I think you're just not going to bother with that. But the Suos, I think, are going to attempt. Given the opportunity. They can get close enough to fire on the airbase. There we go. Slow down some more. I don't want you dead in the water, because that's a terrible thing to have happen. But, yeah, try to... Okay, and that's only 40 aircraft, evidently. At least that's what we're claiming, so it's actually not worth the 3 points, or whatever it is. Yeah, I think it was 3 points. For 100 aircraft, it's probably only worth like 1 point. But our army is not the greatest. Let's turn away. So that we can turn south a little bit to try to fire on it some more. If you could set it on fire or something, that would be just grand. In the meantime, the Kasagi is going to attempt to see if there's any coastal batteries over on this side of the island of Singapore. More naval patrol boats. Okay. They launched missiles. I mean, we know they have the ability to do that. Not happy that they did. But we know they have the ability to do it, so it's not surprising per se. Also, I'm frankly shocked that they were able to launch those while we're shooting at the island, but maybe that's just me. Or while we're shooting at the airbase. When you have 16-inch guns firing down on you, presumably relatively accurately, they're not, you know, the most accurate, but hey, should be relatively accurate. Well, I say that we're claiming a 0.46 hit chance. And the max you can get is like a 10. So, okay, yeah, not the most accurate fire, admittedly. Does not look to be any transports on that, or coastal batteries on that side. So I think the rest of the fleet is going to leave. The Gasagi, I think we'll probably try to link up with the Suos, just so it can provide a little bit extra heavy AA. I mean, they're doing okay on their own with, 59 on the Suos themselves, and there's 2 of those. And then a handful of destroyers with like 18 each. Approaching enemy ships. We launched a missile at the airbase. Good for us. Also, that's an airbase 60, but it only has 40 aircraft. Okay, well, you know what? I think we're just going to leave because... Oh my god, we launched a missile at the airbase. I was honestly not expecting that, like, at all. Let's just get the hell out of here. We sunk the ships. We missiled the airbase and put a fair few 16-inch shells into the runways, so those aren't going to be helping them either. Nope, max speed until you guys are well outside their range, which basically can't happen because this is what happens in the late game. Everybody's range gets just absolutely ridiculous. Oh, radar contact, what? Oh, up there, never mind. You need to get the hell out of here because you are on the wrong side of the neighborhood, buddy. Enemy aircraft destroyed. Damaged. Nothing done there. Sagi avoids torpedoes. And continues on its way of trying to get the hell out of here. Sao, how are you doing? Because we kind of forgot about you. Oh, the Katori hits a mine as it leaves. That sucks. Sunk a battlecruiser, a dreadnought, sunk 4 destroyers, and a corvette. Medium damage to a land target, which is presumably the airbase. See, this was the Venerable, so the lead ship of the class. This was the Niobe, which is just a random glorious class. Yep, medium damage to this, and looks like we only landed a single 16-inch hit on the airbase. But the missile hit disabled one of the turrets and started a fire. But unfortunately, they were able to get it under control relatively quickly. And then it took them a bit longer to get the turret back into action. So that's a shame. But then again, our hit chance was not the greatest. So, I guess I can't fault them for not being particularly good at actually hitting. Especially because it's pretty far inland with a massive minefield right outside of it. Let's see. Looks like we did not destroy any of their aircraft on the airfield. Would have loved to have done that. Just imagine somebody taking a 16-inch shell to the face as they're trying to take off. I believe that would be the second Battle of Singapore Strait. First one, I think, was the surprise attack. The Nachi is commissioned. Wonderful. It'll be joining in later. There we go. 3-inch dual-purpose guns. I think 3-inch is still not quite better than 5-inch, but they're definitely getting close now because of that auto-loading. The enemy currently has an edge in electronic warfare. That sucks, but we will survive. Our forces are resisting the enemy, secure in the fortifications of Burma. Wonderful. Sunk a British corvette in a gun duel. And we lost a corvette due to a mine. And they're back in Southeast Asia with more troops. Well, we knew that was going to happen. I got about 4 minutes left of my timer. I think I'm just going to go and end this part here. It's a bit shorter, but I'm trying to do roughly 45-minute episodes. But if I go to the next turn, we're not meeting that timer, or we're stopping the battle partway through, which I don't really want to do. It's not something I generally enjoy doing, if I'm being completely honest. But some of the big battles, we kind of have to do it that way. So yeah. That's going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time, where we will be continuing our war against Britain, obviously. Not much we can do about that in terms of leaving it. The U.S. continues to not send ships where they're useful. Well, I say that. That's not really true. The Americans have a pretty sizable fleet sitting in the Indian Ocean, and it seems like they really want to keep it there, so that's very helpful for us. So if we do get a battle in the Indian Ocean, we should, in theory, have Americans to help us, which is great, because we don't have anything there. We have 2 CLs. That's not going to do us a whole hell of a lot of good right now. Let's see. I am still contemplating potentially saying let's go ahead and launch an invasion of Malaya as well, even though we haven't finished the invasion of Singapore. Partly just because it will, whichever one gets taken first doesn't really matter. But either way, whichever one gets taken will cut back on Britain's base capacity a little bit. It's only 10 for Malaya, but that's still 10 less base capacity, and they start taking penalties, especially if they keep their stuff here. Which, luckily for us, basically means they either need to move it to the Indian Ocean and then move it back, and just deal with all that. And admittedly, I'm pretty sure they're over their. Yeah, they're under it right now. But when they move ships back and forth like that, they do technically go over for a little bit. And at some point, because I think so long as you are over it, basically at the start of a turn, there's always the chance of getting that dice roll of a ship being interned in a neutral port, or things like that. So if we could just get them constantly doing that when they move back and forth, they could potentially lose ships that way. That would be helpful for us. Wow, Britain. Oh, never mind. That was improved ASW mortar/rocket launcher. I was gonna say, wow, Britain just finally got that. We beat them to it, but nope, never mind. Let's see. So it's January 1945. It's nice. It's nice. Let's see. How is relations? Curiosity. Germany is sitting at an 8 with Britain, and Italy is at a 7. I would love for Germany to go to war with Britain while we're at war with them. We're not getting a third alliance. I'm pretty sure, again, you max out at 2, if I recall correctly. But even then, if Germany goes to war with Britain, that will draw their attention away from us. Admittedly, it makes Spain less likely to join into the war, but that's not a me problem. That's a Spain problem. I'll survive. But, okay. Now I mean it this time. That'll be it for this part. And that was my timer was actually just about to go off because I kept talking for a bit longer. Hopefully next part we get a bit of actual progress in the invasion of Singapore, because I would love to take that. And also hopefully we kick the British out of Burma. Or, well, the invading British out of Burma. Which, technically they're trying to take it back from us because we took it from them way back when. Holy crap, how far back was that? That would have been... We only fought the one war against them, so that would have had to have been this war. Here. Between 1907 and 1910. Against the British and the French. At the end of that, that would have to have been the war we took Burma, because Burma had oil and we needed oil. Though admittedly, I don't think it ended up being that useful, because I think shortly thereafter we got oil being available basically for free globally. And I don't think there's any benefits to owning a oil producing possession in terms of like national budget or anything. And then a short war against Germany, war against Britain and America and France, although America didn't do anything. Another war against Russia, which was just decisively for us, but we basically just let them off scot-free. Let's see. Then another short war against Russia. And then that's this current war. Let's see, fleet tonnage. We are way down here, but the British have dropped off quite a bit since this war started. They've gone down quite a bit, especially relative to us. Economy, we are... Oh my god, really? Our economy is basically on par with Britain. I don't know who this is that is going through the years, but apparently their economy might as well have gone negative. It's not true because this scale is all kinds of screwed up. It starts at 15 and goes to 100. It's not... That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. But they managed to actually go down enough that they're crossing through the lines. Let's see. Lost ships. I am the only person to have lost CVs. That sucks. That sucks to be remembered as that person that lost CVs. Yeah, Russia is not doing hot at all in that war. Holy crap. Or in terms of total, they've lost a whole bunch of stuff across the board. But yeah, you know, the fact that we are basically on par with Britain in terms of economy is just wonderful for us. Also, that says economy, but I don't know if that's actually referring to, you know, the yearly budget, or if it's, you know, actually the economy itself separate from your yearly budget. I don't know. I think it might be, okay, yeah, no, it's base resources, which is not something that we get told here anywhere. That information is literally not freely available anywhere. You would need to dig through a bunch of stuff to find that. Here we go. 49,666. 49,774 for the Brits. The US is at 69,000 and some change. Okay, yep. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a whole lot. But okay, yeah, no. Okay, now I do mean it for real. That's going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time. Until then, goodbye and farewell.